Ashhadu alla ilaha illallahu wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Run fast, a lion is burying this corpse. My dear, I am telling you today, you are going to be buried under the soil. How will your lion son live without you? Mother, come back. In the returning eyes, I have seen punishment. I haven't seen heaven. But I have seen a mother, when an old mother passed away from this world. Keeping the corpse in front, the villagers kept waiting for her reckless overseas son. But that cruel son did not come. Then how? Becoming a lion. Son, did he lift the old mother's corpse in his own arms and walk towards the graveyard? The villagers were terrified seeing this scene. Today's incident is not just for the soft-hearted. Rather, it forced even the stone-hearted to cry. In a corner of the village, there was a broken hut, where Amma Hazara lived with a few of her chickens, tasbih in hand, and while giving grains to the chickens, Allah's dhikr was on her lips. She loved her few chickens very much and managed her expenses by selling their eggs. It was evening time. Amma Hazara boiled some eggs on the stove. Filling them in a bucket, she started selling them in the street market. Take eggs, take hot eggs. The winter was falling terribly. She had no sweater on her body, no shoes on her feet, just one broken slipper and an old shawl on her head. Today, all the eggs in hand were sold. Amma Hazara's heart was happy. While walking on the way back home, she became very tired. Because she had become very old, there was also the demand of age. Sitting under a tree, she started resting for a while. Suddenly, from behind the tree, she heard the sound of an animal's roar. As if some animal was roaring in great pain. At first, Amma Hazara got scared. Getting panicked, she started looking around, but nothing came to her sight. She got up from the side of the tree, moved a little forward, and saw. A lion is lying on the ground and crawling. Pieces of glass were stuck in its feet. Blood was dripping. Amma Hazara's breath was about to leave her. Getting panicked, she immediately stepped back. Because life is dear to everyone. But she was a soft-hearted mother. She started thinking in her mind, if I help this speechless animal, then how happy will my Allah be? On the other hand, she thought, what if it gets well and eats me? No, I cannot do this. Exactly then, as if Allah Ta'ala gave a tongue to that lion, it spoke, Mother, do not be afraid. Help me. I am in trouble. Amma Hazara's hands were trembling. Her heart was thumping loudly. In front was that terrifying scene from which people run away all their lives. An injured lion who was crawling on the ground. Blood was dripping from its paw. And the pain was clearly visible in its eyes. Amma Hazara stepped back one step, looked towards the sky, and moved her lips. O Allah, life is dear to everyone. But this is also your creation. Then, with trembling hands, she tore the edge of her old shawl. There was fear in the heart, but mercy in the intention. She took courage, leaned down, and slowly pulled out the glass piece. The lion gave a deep roar in pain, but it did not attack the mother, as if it had understood. This hand is not of an enemy, but a mother's. Blood started coming out fast. Amma immediately tied the paw with the shawl. In her heart, she started praying, Oh, Allah, reduce its pain. I have done this only for you. After a few moments, the lion's breath became somewhat normal. It slowly lifted its head and looked at Amma Hazara. Exactly at that moment, something happened that no one can imagine. The lion said in a heavy but soft voice, Mother, don't be afraid. You have shown mercy to me. It was as if there was no life left in Amma Hazara's body. The ground slipped from under her feet. She sat down and said in a trembling voice, "O Allah, khair havhadawatata sata." The lion spoke again, "Do not fear, mother. I can speak. This is Allah's glory. And today, you have won my heart." Tears started falling from Amma Hazara's eyes. She folded her hands and said, "Son, if you are speaking, then surely this is some sign from Allah. I have helped you considering you not just a creature, but a child." The lion, retracting its injured paw, said, "Mother, from today I am your son. Today, you make a wild animal your child. Whenever you need me, just call. I will appear." Amma Hazara's face was wet with tears. There was silence for a while. A cold wind blew. The leaves of the trees shook. Amma Hazara took courage and said, "Son, can I affectionately call you Badal?" A strange tenderness came to the lion's face. Bowing its head, it said, "Mother, from today I am Badal, your Badal, who will stay over you like a shadow." That night, for the first time, a smile appeared on Amma Hazara's face. She looked at Badal's wound one last time. She gave a prayer. "May Allah keep you in His protection, son." Badal slowly stepped back. While moving towards the forest, he said, "Mother, I am leaving, but this favor of yours will remain in my every breath." Then he vanished between the trees. Amma Hazara stood there for a long time. There was a strange peace in her heart, as if some lost relationship had returned. She came back home. That night, while giving grains to the chickens, she prayed for Badal. She didn't know that the one she made the son of the forest would one day give a shoulder to her corpse, and the son she was waiting for would remain completely unaware, sitting abroad. That night, for the first time, Amma Hazara thought in her mind, maybe sometimes Allah gives the answer to human sorrow not through humans, but through His other creations. Amma Hazara's days passed. Somehow. But the nights used to descend like the Day of Judgment. Sitting in the courtyard of the mud house, she often looked at the sky and remembered her son's face. That son whom she had raised with so much love and care, for whom she sold eggs in the winter, for whom she stayed awake all night during his fever, whose single sneeze would make her heart tremble. But after marriage, that son slipped from her hand like sand. As soon as a daughter-in-law stepped into the house, the environment changed. First, taunts in words, then harshness in voice. And slowly that pain, which is given more in silence than in words. Sometimes, she was given leftover food. Sometimes her chickens were mocked. Sometimes her eggs were seized. Amma Hazara endured everything. But when the son, at the words of his wife, started avoiding even sitting beside his mother at night, then Amma's heart started breaking. One day, sitting in the courtyard, she started crying, and holding the daughter-in-law's feet, she said, "Daughter, give me as much pain as you want. I will endure it. I am an old woman. I will go to Allah Salvason wa Allah soon. But in this world I have only one son. Do not move him away from me." Hearing this, mercy did not come to the daughter-in-law's heart. Instead, a strange flicker of victory appeared. She thought in her mind, "This is the old woman's weak point. Press here." That very night, she started putting words into her husband's ears. She said, "This village, this soil, these chickens, this old woman, all are a burden on my fate.
If you really want to make me yours, then let's go to the city. Otherwise, I will not stay here for a single day.
The son remained silent at first. Then he started getting crushed between the mother's fear and the wife's pressure. Finally, one day he announced the decision. "Mother, we are going to the city. The job opportunities are better there." Amma Hazara said nothing. Only water rolled down from her eyes. She thought, maybe it's a matter of a few days. Maybe the son will come back again. But that day became the last refuge for Mother. The son went and settled in the city with his wife. He didn't look back, neither towards the mother's chickens nor towards that courtyard where he had learned to walk. That day, Amma Hazara sat on the doorstep of the door. Then she got up and went inside. She gave grains to the chickens. She took the tasbih in hand and just said, "O Allah, I have surrendered my son into your Ralal'een hands." Days started passing. Amma's body gradually became weak. Still, she didn't complain to anyone. Maybe the son is happy in the city. But Amma kept the door open every night. Maybe the son will return. Sometimes she remembered Badal. Sometimes she would say in her mind, "Son Badal, I have lost my child." She didn't know that the call of the mother that humans were not hearing had already echoed in the heart of that son in the forest long ago. Suddenly, one evening, there was a loud knock on the door of Amma Hazara's mud house. Her heart thumped. She thought maybe she heard wrong. But again, there was a knock on the door. She stood up, leaning on the stick. As soon as she opened the door, her eyes became still in amazement. In front were her son and daughter-in-law, both with a strange smile on their faces, a smile that was more about need than love. The son said in an unusually soft voice, "Mother, how are you?" And the daughter-in-law came forward and touched her feet as if she were a servant for many days. Amma Hazara could not understand anything. Her heart swung between joy and fear. In a trembling voice, she said, "Son, why? Why suddenly today?" The daughter-in-law immediately said, "Mother, we were remembering you very much." Mother seated them inside. She gave grains to the chickens. She brought water and kept it. But in some corner of the heart, something like a thorn remained stuck. As evening descended, the son and daughter-in-law sat beside Mother. The son looked towards the ground and said, "Mother, I have something to tell you." Mother kept her hand on her chest. The daughter-in-law, without any boat introduction, said, "Mother, our business in the city is doing well, just there is a shortage of a little money. If this problem Boding Fong is solved, we can move far ahead." Mother was startled and said, "Money?" The son immediately said, "Mother, you sell this house." Hearing this, the tasbih fell from Amma Hazara's hand. As if someone had pressed a stone on her chest. In a trembling voice, she said, "Son, this house?" The daughter-in-law came forward and handled the talk. "Mother, this is just a heap of mud. You come to the city with us. There is comfort there. There are facilities." Tears filled Mother's eyes. She looked at the walls of the courtyard, looked at the roof, looked at that corner where her husband's cot used to lie, that husband on whose memories support she was living. Crying, she said, "Son, what is my benefit in this business? Despite your existence, I am alone. And this house is that place where your father's scent is attached. Only by talking to these walls do I live. I will not sell this house." The son's face became hard. A flicker appeared in the daughter-in-law's eyes. In a taunting tone she said, "Mother, don't be stubborn. Learn to move with time." Mother, crying, held the son's hand. "Son, give me as much pain as you want. I will endure it. But don't make me homeless." The son pulled his hand away and said indifferently, "Mother, why don't you understand? This is a matter of our future." Exactly at that moment, Alma Hazara felt that in front of her was not her son, but some unknown person standing. That son for whom she had sold eggs in the winter all her life, for whom she stayed awake during fevers. Today, that very person has come to snatch the roof over her head. The daughter-in-law said in a cold voice, "Mother, think about it. We will wait until tomorrow." Saying this, both stood up. Amma Hazara at that moment, Sata remained sitting on the ground. Tears started falling on the ground. When the night became deep, Amma blew out the lamp. Sitting alone in the courtyard, she looked at the sky and for the first time said in a full voice, "O Allah, if being a mother is a crime, then forgive me." As if some sound came to her ears from somewhere far away. Amma was startled. Her heart started thumping loudly. She looked sideways. Darkness and silence, but it felt as if someone from the forest side was remembering her. She held the tesbih firmly, as if she was sitting in prayer. Hands were shaking, eyes closed, lips were moving. She was talking not for any worldly interest, but with that Lord with whose help she spent her whole life. But on the face of the daughter-in-law standing behind her was not worship, but a flicker of hurry and greed. She said annoyedly to her husband, "Look, Javed, this old woman is intentionally acting. She has kept us stuck on the pretext of prayer. The old woman will never agree to sell the house. Our time is being wasted. We have to go back to the city, otherwise the business will be lost." Javed remained silent. He buried his eyes in the ground. Mother's trembling voice was falling on his ears, but the heart was as hard as stone. The wife, biting her teeth, said, "There is only one way. Cut her finger. We will sign ourselves." These words were like mixing poison in the room. Amma Hazara opened her eyes. She looked back at her son, but there was no reaction on his face. The daughter-in-law immediately took out a sharp knife from the cupboard. Amma Hazara didn't even get a chance to manage. In one jerk, her finger was caught and the knife was run. Amma started screaming in pain. Her body shook in prayer. Her screaming was returning as an echo from the mud walls. She cried and said to her son, "O son, how stone-hearted you have become. Your blood has become white. Your mother is crying. Your wife is torturing. Not once did your heart burst. Have some shame. She kept you in her womb for 9 months. Protect her shame." But Javed remained standing with his head bowed. Neither did he lift his eyes, nor did he move his tongue, as if mother's screaming could not reach him at all. The daughter-in-law said cruelly, "Fine. Enough. Come to the point of work." The husband and wife left Amma Hazara trembling and went inside. They opened the cupboard, took out an old diary, scattered papers, and started signing quickly. But in the hurry, the daughter-in-law's hand stopped. She saw the paper. Then she looked at Javed. Consciously, it came out from the mouth. This is the left finger." For a moment, both looked at each other, because the right finger was needed for the signature, and outside in the room, Amma Hazara was groaning in pain, soaked in blood during prayer, as if nature at that moment placed a question mark on their torture. And Javed's silence became heavier with that mistake. Because the mother's right hand that had taught him how to walk by holding him, today, saving that hand, her left finger was cut off. And this mistake was not just a mistake. Rather, it was the first call of that result, which would not turn back. The daughter-in-law said to the husband through clenched teeth in anger, "Don't delay now. We have to cut her right finger as well. Then the signature will be complete." When these words reached Ahmahazera's ears, a final scream rose in her heart. She held the stick with trembling hands. Keeping the blood-soaked hand near her chest, she exited through the door to save her life and ran towards the forest. Dark night, raw soil, stony path, and an old body. In every step, breath, wailing. The pain was so intense that there was darkness before the eyes. The blood dripping from the finger was leaving marks on the ground. She ran and reached under a tree and sat there. Holding the stick firmly, she tried to hide herself, tried to manage by holding her breath. Even now, she could not control her heart's thumping. When her son Javed's voice was heard, "I will find you. Our time is being wasted. Come out quickly." Hazera held her two hands over her mouth. She stopped her breath, closed her eyes tightly. In her heart, repeatedly the same prayer, "O Allah, protect me." Javed roared in anger and said, "Allah knows what is going on in this old woman's head." Her heart had asked for something more. She only wanted a part of the house. He was wandering here and there. He was searching behind the trees. But in the darkness and silence, Ahmahazera did not come to sight. Being annoyed by some delay, he hit the ground with the stick and turned back. His voice went far away and silence descended in the forest again. Ahmahazera sat silently under that tree. Her body was shaking not from the cold, but from fear and shock. Blood started dripping. Tears started falling silently from her eyes. She looked towards the sky and said in a trembling voice, "O Allah, my son has abandoned me. If my call is heard anywhere, listen today." Ahmahazera started calling in a trembling voice, "O son Badal, where are you? Today your mother is calling you. Wherever you are, hear my call. Today I need you very much." For a moment, silence descended deep in the forest. Then suddenly, a light sound came from somewhere far away, a sound where there was no anger but pain. Within a few moments, Badal came and sat near Ahmahazera. His shadow fell on the old mother in such a way as if someone was applying ointment on a burning wound with cold hands. Ahmahazera said in a trembling voice, "Son, you came?" Badal bowed his head and answered, "Yes, mother, you called and I came. I can give my life if I want." But as soon as Badal's gaze fell on Ahmahazera's bloody finger, it was as if lightning struck his eyes. The whole forest became still for a moment. Badal roared in anger and said, "Mother, who did this? Who had such courage that they raised a hand towards you?" There was such power in his voice that the leaves of the trees shook. But Ahmahazera said nothing. She just kept sitting silently. Tears started falling from her wrinkled face. She kept one hand over the injured finger, as if she wanted to hide her sorrow from Badal. Badal slowly bowed his head near her knees. The voice changed. In place of anger, pain came. He said, "Mother, why are you silent? Your silence is burning my heart." Ahmahazera gathered some courage, looked towards the sky and only said in a broken voice, "Son, I haven't called you to take revenge. I am calling you, considering you as a child." Ahmahazera burst out crying in front of Badal and said tremblingly, "Son Badal, I had only one son in the world. When his father left the world, I loved him more than my life. I used to tie him behind my shoulder with a cloth and I raised 7 chickens. I used to sell there, boiled eggs in the street. Sometimes I used to sweep in people's houses. Sometimes I washed dishes. Sometimes I looked after someone's child. I lived only for this one son. I used to stay hungry during the day, but at night I fed him with a full stomach. I thought he would grow up and be my support. He would be my stick. I also performed his marriage with great pomp, spent all saved money, thought now my days would change. But son Badal, today that son's wife cut my finger for a small piece of house, and my son watched his mother's blood standing with his head bowed. While saying this, Amma Hazara's voice became choked. Tears started mixing with the soil, falling from her face. Badal lowered his eyes for the first time. Heavy breaths rose in his chest. He clenched his teeth. The claws went into the soil. But he controlled himself. Amma Hazara, crying, said, "I didn't curse him. Son, I never wanted his destruction from Allah. I only said, 'Oh Allah, put the mother's status in his heart.' But maybe my prayer didn't reach his ears. Today, when his wife lifted the knife and cut my finger, I looked at his face. I thought maybe now his heart would burst. Maybe he would scream and say, 'Enough, this is my mother.' But Badal, he stood as if I were not his mother, but some stranger." Amma Hazara extended her injured hand towards Badal. Blood was still dripping. Badal slowly held that hand. There was such tenderness in his touch, as if a burden of many years had become light. He said in a low but deep voice, "Mother, you have had a lot of patience. You have endured much of the torture of human hands. Now it's enough. I will take the rest of the account myself." Amma Hazara looked at Badal. Anger was clearly visible in Badal's eyes. "Mother, today I will appear before you as a son, and I will give such a lesson to your cruel daughter-in-law and son that the world will remember." Amma Hazara got scared and said, "No, son. No, whatever he is my blood, my son." Badal said, "Mother, they have crossed all limits of torture on you, and mercy still remains in your heart for them?" Amma Hazara said, "Son, forgive my son. Consider it as my heart being cut. I don't want my only son to be destroyed and get harmed by someone else's hand. It is true that he has tortured me, but I want him to be given another chance." Saying this much, Amma Hazara hid behind a tree and said, "Son Badal, they are going along the side of the road ahead. My daughter-in-law and son, I will hide here. When they leave, I will return to my house." Badal rubbed his claws on the ground in anger, but the next moment, bowing his head, he said, "Mother, this time I am silent, but next time, if their torture crosses the limit, this son of yours will not remain silent." Amma Hazara kept her hand on Badal's head and said, "Son, pray that such a time does not come again." From the distant village road, the voices of her son and daughter-in-law were still coming. Amma Hazara, sitting under the tree, was still asking for that prayer. "Oh Allah, let these two leave so that I can return to my house. If I come in front of them, maybe they might even kill me." She was trembling, but she was a mother and had become helpless. In the silence of the night, Amma Hazara waited for a long time sitting under the tree. The old heart was thinking, maybe they have left. Now I can go to my house. Finally, Amma Hazara took the bucket of eggs. Taking the help of the stick, she walked towards her house. Entering the house, today her chickens were also hungry. She quickly scattered grains for the chickens. But as soon as Amma Hazara entered her room, a strange whispering sound came to her ears. She asked in a trembling voice, "Who is there?" In the light of the lantern, Javed and his wife standing opposite him, the cold smile on the wife's lips that comes before a birth. She said, "Mother, we thought we had to make you accept. By now, you have understood that you have no one except us." Amma Hazara's hands became limp. She said in a low voice, "Son, what I have is the last saved asset and the last memory of your father. I cannot sell this." The daughter-in-law said with a satisfied smile, "The game has just started. Mother, see what happens." After that day, it was as if the piece of Amma Hazara's life was snatched away. Sometimes the daughter-in-law would intentionally keep her hungry, cooking food